Gemini, Cancer, Cuspers, welcome into your June 2026. Yeah, it's not a normal month for you. This is a month where your heart, your mind, and your future all begins shifting at the same time. And by the end of June, some of you won't even recognize the version of you, of yourself, you started the month as. Welcome back in, beautiful souls, my Gemini, Cancer, Cuspers. This reading feels emotional, powerful, healing, and honestly, deeply life-changing. Thank you for hitting the like button and dropping that wolf emoji in the comments, letting me know you're here. Deeply life-changing this month because June carries the energy of the emotional truth, new beginnings, unexpected realizations, and finally understanding what truly matters to you. I'm hearing here, stop trying to carry the old version of yourself into the new chapter. That message just is repeating here strongly. So let's just first talk about the energy surrounding you first, right? Like a little bit of the energy, what's happening here before we dive in the cards and all that. So you're coming into June after a very intense May. May, perhaps some of you, it shook up some things mentally and emotionally, right? There may have been some sort of a sudden realizations, crossroads, shifts in relationships, changes in direction, and June just feels like, okay, what do I actually want now? Because this month becomes deeply personal for you, especially when we have now Mercury that will be moving into Cancer on June 1st, right? Your thoughts become more emotional, more reflective, more intuitive. Like you're no longer thinking about logic in this month right in the beginning. You're feeling your way forward now. And for the Gemini, Cancer, Cuspers, that hits deeply. Some of you may feel more emotional than usual this month. Memories might just be returning, past conversations replaying in your mind. Some of you could just be thinking about home, family, love, stability, and where you truly belong. And now love. Wow. This is going to be a big month that's just a big month emotionally, right? Especially around the 9th, when Venus meets Jupiter in Cancer. This energy expands the heart. It can bring that emotional healing, soulmate connections, deeper intimacy, reconnection energy, or clarity around what kind of love you truly deserve, but Spirit's also saying some of you are realizing you can just no longer shrink yourself emotionally just to keep the peace in the relationship. That's important because later in the month when Venus now enters Leo and start clashing now with Pluto, truth now starts arising. Passion arises. Hidden emotion arises. Some relations just deepen instantly, all right? And then others reveal power struggles that can no longer be ignored. And honestly, this feels like a month where many of the Gemini, Cancer, Cuspers stop settling emotionally. You want depth now. That reciprocity, that equal give and take. Real love, real effort, not confusion. All right. The financially, all right, career-wise, those of you that's interested in this, and regarding money, work, all right. June feels like a rebuilding month, not chaotic, but strategic, all right. Especially after the Gemini new moon on the 15th. This new moon is going to be powerful, new ideas, contracts, communication, networking, learning, business growth, content creation, speaking your truth. And I feel like some of you may just suddenly feel inspired to start something new, apply for opportunities, change direction, or finally just trust your own voice. But Spirit's saying also here, don't rush emotionally around money this month. Because towards the end of June, Mercury goes retrograde in Cancer, possible delays, emotional decision-making, misunderstandings, revisiting the old financial situations, and I'm hearing some here, or maybe you might just be hearing from people or jobs or opportunities from the past. Double check details, protect your peace, take your time, and don't let any temporary emotions make that permanent decisions, if you get what I'm saying, all right? If you get it, you get it. This this is one of the strongest themes for you in June is home, family, and healing. Reason why I'm saying, okay, so there may just be some healing around home, family, inner child, wounds, feeling emotionally safe, especially once the sun enters June around the 21st. You're just going to begin reconnecting with yourself emotionally in a completely different way. Honestly, some of you are going to be realizing, I've been taking care of everyone else while neglecting myself. And that realization feels huge, right? Huge here. Reason why. This month is teaching you that emotional rest is not weakness. Healing is not weakness. Needing support is not weakness. And I keep hearing this soft but powerful energy of finally allowing yourself to receive. Now, the part that is important is that around the 9th and the 21st, there's some major energetic shifting happening here, right? So it's Chiron entering Taurus combined with Uranus squaring the nodes. This feels like that deep soul level awakening, especially around self-worth, stability, identity, and what you truly value. Some of you may suddenly realize the life that you thought you wanted isn't actually aligned anymore. Some of you. And while that realization may feel uncomfortable, it will be freeing as well. Because why? June is trying to move you towards authenticity, not performance, not survival mode, the real self. Now, by the end of the month, we have a Capricorn full moon on the 29th of June, right? Bringing reality checks. So the cycle, whatever cycle started at the new moon, right? But I'm hearing these reality checks are good ones. The full moon is asking, what are you truly building for your future? And some of you may make some important decisions during this time, releasing some emotional baggage, changing priorities, or finally seeing clearly where your energy has been draining. And if I'm not mistaken, it's also your birthday month, right? Moving from Gemini season into Cancer season. Yeah, that's the cusp energy there. Happy birthday in advance. All right. Happy birthday in advance. Yeah, Jupiter's entering Leo also around the 30th. This feels beautiful for you because after the emotional healing, after all the confusion, after all the inner shifts, I'm hearing your confidence starts returning, your voice gets stronger, your creativity expands, and Spirit's just saying, you're remembering who you are again. So my Gemini Cancer cuspers, June 2026 is not about rushing ahead, it's about emotional alignment. It's about it's about slowing down long enough to hear yourself clearly. This month may bring emotional truth, relationship shifts, healing conversations, career inspiration, financial revelations, or perhaps even some powerful inner transformation. But underneath all of it, this month is helping you reconnect with your heart. And honestly, that may become the very thing that changes your entire future. So beautiful souls, let's dive deeper into the Celtic's cross and look at what is your present situation, what is challenging you, and so forth. Let's look at what Spirit has to say through the cards, the overall energy. Spirit, angels, ancestors, all the highest light and good, please bring forth the card from the present situation all the way until the outcome for our beautiful Gemini Cancers. Ooh, in your present situation, the 10 of Wands. Ouch, it's a bit heavy. Giving out other responsibilities, perhaps. All right, beautifuls, I had to pause for a moment. There was a bit of a distraction. Okay. Let me just dive in here. This month feels big. I'm hearing not loud in the way people expect, but soul level big, all right? There's this feeling throughout June that something has become too heavy to carry the old way anymore. Right? This card, that first card that came out. And honestly, a lot of you know exactly what this is for you. Some of you have been carrying emotional responsibilities for everyone else. Some of you have been carrying confusion. Some of you have been carrying dreams that just no longer fit who you're becoming. And yeah, with all those Gemini, Cancer transits that's happening, especially like later in the month, we're going to be having also that Gemini new moon mid-month, right? Mercury entering Cancer, Mars entering Gemini at the end of June, Mercury retrograde beginning right before the Capricorn full moon. What Spirit is actually saying is that your mind is changing fast, right? And then your whole life will follow. So I feel like this is going to be the month. This month is not just about the external change, right? This is going to be about the way you think changing. The way you speak to yourself is changing, and the way you see your future is changing. And I'm hearing once that shifts, everything starts moving. Yeah, the current position, your current situation, or present situation, the 10 of Wands. It's the energy that you're currently standing in as the month opens. Not weak, not failing, just emotionally, mentally, spiritually overloaded. It could even be work, all right? And the 10 of Wands, it feels like the astrology entering June. Mercury moves into Cancer immediately on the 1st. And sudden emotions just become heavy inside the mind. You're thinking about everything deeply, overanalyzing, carrying pressure privately. And I feel many of you have been trying to hold it together while silently needing to rest yourselves, all right? Some of you are exhausted from work. Some of you, it's family pressure. Some of you, it's just the emotional burdens nobody even realizes that you're carrying. And what Spirit is showing me here, that you were never meant to carry this alone, all right? And what's interesting is the card doesn't show failure. It actually shows that someone is close to the finish line, all right? So yes, June is beginning heavy, but it's also the beginning, like, it also begins at the end of a cycle, all right? So a new cycle can begin, all right? Some of you are maybe being asked maybe to hand over some responsibilities to somebody else, all right? Give somebody else some of these lady sticks, all right? All right, let's have a look at what is the challenge or the obstacle options. All right, so 7 of Cups. I feel like the challenge isn't here to punish you, but I'm feeling it's like here to transform you. And this card actually fits perfectly with the astrology as well, all right? I'm getting there something about the Neptune, you know, that confusion energy. This month is creating the emotional fog, especially around June 4th, where Mercury squares Neptune again near the 25th, and then the Sun squares Neptune. The challenge here is confusion. Too many options, too many emotions, too many what-ifs. And I feel like with my Gemini Cancers is your intuition is speaking about, yeah, they're saying, okay, not fear, but fear keeps mixing itself into the message, okay? Yeah, your intuition is speaking, but maybe perhaps the fear is mixing in here. So some of you are trying to make a decision while emotionally overwhelmed. Others are dreaming bigger than before, but maybe doubting yourselves halfway through it. So what Spirit is saying here is clarity comes after emotion. Okay, wait, hold up. Whoa. Clarity comes after movement this month, not before. So maybe you may not have all the answers right now regarding something, okay, but you do know what no longer feels aligned. All right, so let's dive in. What is the past energy? Queen of Wands. So, okay, this is what's fading out. What you finally leaving behind. This could be an old version of yourself. The Queen of Wands, she is powerful, she's confident, she's magnetic, but also I feel many of you maybe spent a long time surviving by staying strong, always pushing, always showing up, always carrying everyone else emotionally. And honestly, I think many people saw you as okay while you were maybe quietly burning underneath, burning out underneath. But this card is also connected to the intense fire energy from April and May, all right? All those Aries activations, all right? Uranus entering Gemini, Mars movements. It forced many of you to wake up spiritually. And I'm hearing that you already changed more than you actually realize. The old version of you kept abandoning yourself just to keep the peace. And I'm hearing that version is fading now. Let's have a look at the future. Page of Swords. This is the energy that you're beginning to move towards. All right, June is bringing some sort of news, conversations, truth, awareness. The Page of Swords feels extremely connected to the Mars entering Gemini on around the 28th. Mercury retrograde beginning the 29th. Like your mind is becoming active again, but differently. I feel many of you suddenly becoming curious about new opportunities, new studies, new communication, online work, content creation, relocation ideas, conversations perhaps you didn't expect. Some of you, this is someone watching you quietly. For others, this is just you finally becoming more observant and emotionally intelligent. And you're going to start noticing things you ignored before. What Spirit's also highlighting strongly is information is arriving this month, which is going to change your direction. I'm hearing pay attention to the signs, the emails, the intuitive nudges, the synchronicities, your gut feelings. Something important is trying to reach you. So let's have a look at intentions, goals, the best outcome, the Hangman. So this card reveals what your higher self is truly trying to move towards. Okay, your soul wants peace, not chaos, not rushing, not proving yourself anymore. The Hangman is talking about that your higher self is trying to teach you to surrender. And honestly, for my Gemini Cancer cusp, this is hard for you sometimes because your energy naturally wants to think through emotions instead of fully feeling them. But June slows things down intentionally, especially once Mercury retrograde begins near the end of the month. So what I'm hearing here is Spirit's asking you just to pause long enough to see your life differently. Some of you are really going to realize what you thought was a delay was actually protection. What left was actually necessary. What exhausted you was never sustainable. And this is like a spiritual perspective returning, right? Hidden influences the hidden internal influences. Ooh, 6 of Wands. This is the unseen emotional layer influencing your choices and your reactions. All right, this is quite surprising because underneath all the heaviness, there's actually a part of you craving visibility. You want to succeed. You want recognition. You want confirmation that you're on the right path. But Spirit is also showing fear around the visibility, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being seen too clearly. Chiron entering Taurus this month. Deep self-worth healing is happening underneath the surface. And I'm hearing that you are learning you do not need to overwork yourself to deserve success. All right. And some of you, I feel this is associated with Jupiter in Leo. All right. So that time period when that shift happens end of the month, that could be very significant as well for you. Now, your advice, course of action, Queen of Pentacles. All right, so what Spirit is asking you here is to move differently, to ground yourself. This is your advice for June, is that not everything needs immediate emotional reaction. Not everything needs urgency, all right? The Queen of Pentacles is talking about take care of your body, protect your peace, focus on your stability, nurture your finances, create routine, rest properly, build slowly. So I feel like this energy becomes important once Mercury retrograde begins at the end of June, all right? Where Spirit is asking you to stop abandoning yourself emotionally while trying to save everyone else because your stability also matters. Let's have a look at the outside influences. 3 of Cups. Okay, so this is the energy surrounding you. This could be supportive, it could be challenging. You are not as alone as you think. There is others around you supporting. There is some support around you, reconnections, community, soul tribe energy, emotional conversation, celebration, and healing through connections. Some of you may reconnect with friends. Others may find new soul-aligned people entering your life. And honestly, I feel like some of you are maybe slowly returning back to joy after a long emotional season. This card feels healing, especially emotionally, okay? But take it with a pinch of salt, you know, that retrograde in Mercury is happening, all right? So some past situations could be returning, so always everything with your discernment, all right? Sometimes you don't want some people to come back, all right? All right, hopes and fears. Magician, Mercury, Magician. I'm also hearing Gemini. Or Magician is associated also with Gemini, right? Okay, right. All right, let me just pause for a minute. I need to put the battery on the device. I meant to say charger on the device, not battery, but anyway. All right. What you hope for most may also be what you fear the deepest. You know your life could change quickly here now. All right. The Magician says that your manifestation power is extremely strong in this month, especially around the Gemini new moon, all right, around the 15th, and also once Jupiter enters Leo at the very end of June. But the deeper message here is you might be just slightly a little bit afraid of your own power, afraid of making the wrong choice, afraid of success changing your life, afraid of finally stepping fully into your own potential, into your potential. Okay? Remember, take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm also hearing don't shrink yourself to stay emotionally comfortable. So let's have a look at the final card. Ace of Swords. If you continue aligning with this path, this is the energy that's unfolding ahead. Clarity, truth, breakthrough, mental freedom, communication, a new mindset. The Ace of Swords cuts through the confusion, all right? That is also what's been challenging you. And honestly, by the end of June, many Gemini, Cancer cuspers are no longer emotionally stuck where they started. You're seeing clearly now. You're understanding who and what is aligned. You're understanding what must change. You're understanding yourself differently. And once your mind clears, your path opens. So I feel like the beginning of a new chapter. So June is teaching you that clarity is not something you chase. It's something that arrives once you stop carrying what no longer belongs to you. Your spirit already knows the direction. Your soul already feels the shift coming. And the moment that you stop doubting your inner knowing, everything begins aligning faster than you expected. So this month is not asking you to become someone else. It's asking you to finally become more of yourself. Trust what keeps calling you forward. So beautiful souls, if this resonated, helped you in any sort of way, brought you some sort of clarity, thank you for liking the video. Thank you for leaving a comment, being subscribers here. And if you feel called, what truth are you finally ready to face in June 2026? Love and light, beautiful souls, and I'll check you around in the next one.